from Japan, right? So he can't defend. So he's looking it up, and he couldn't find the definition either in the dictionary. So the proponent of the bill that's banning contraceptives because they're abortifacient suddenly says, oh, if we don't have a definition, maybe I should withdraw my bill. And I'm like, and then they return to the resource speaker and they say, well, no, maybe you shouldn't withdraw your bill. Maybe you should ask our resource people. And you're like, maybe I should just lie and say there isn't a definition, so he'll just withdraw his stupid bill. Right? But so I had to be my true scientist self. And I said, there was a definition. No. Interesting too, these definitions of when life exists. As I was saying, the knowledge about embryology has been tremendously increased these last few years, and we don't even, the moment of conception, moment of conception is very vague, it's a religious term. Interesting, it's also in our constitution. Moment of fertilization is what I think they mean, although they will never use that term. And interestingly, the fertilization moment is not a moment. Let us begin with the birds and the bees. It takes several hours from ejaculation for the sperm to reach the egg. 6, 8, ganyan. It takes a few more hours for the sperm to go through the outer wall of the eggs and enter the cell body itself. Another set of hours for it to reach the nuclear membrane. Another set of hours for it to go past the nuclear membrane and for it finally to join the DNA of the egg cell. And then it takes 2 weeks before they really work together as one set of DNA. For 2 weeks, the two sets of DNA are working on two entirely different things. Anyway, the point being, the moment of fertilization is not a moment. And all of this that I'm telling you about cannot be seen by the human eye or any modern technology. So it's like, you know, pie in the sky, voodoo, and on this basis, they want to stop a bill that is proven over and over again to save women's lives, increase women's rights, etc., etc. So it is true that we need to work on the reproductive health bill talks to us about so much stuff that we need to do in politics and how much free thinking is really related to the kind of people-centered development we need to do for our country to progress. But my final point is also this. Why am I an agnostic? That's a good question. I'm not an atheist, considering I'm a scientist as well. It's also because I teach in the Department of Women and Development Studies in UP, and at the moment I am director of the Center for Women's Studies of UP. And we're supposed to try to have people do gender everywhere. So we need to talk to the geeks, that's that. Natural and physical science fanatics, and the nerds, the social science fanatics, all of whom are socially inept. We know that, right? That's why our geeks are nerds. Okay. In any case, it's not our role to teach them social manners, but we do have to. I also have an understanding because I have degrees in both the social sciences and medical science. My compromise position is that my empiricism is fractured. I call it a fractured empiricism. And that's not my term, it's from Anne Oakley. It's an epistemological position that I teach to my students in feminist research methodology. And she, like me, is a feminist and a health advocate. And the reason my empiricism is fractured is a little bit something we've been talking about also this afternoon. That empirical science and measurable science is only one layer. And even that science, no matter how we try to be objective, is very much embedded in the culture, in the society, in the way we look at things, which is why you will indeed find books from the 1957 circa, embryology books, that say that life begins at fertilization. Well, that's been superseded. That's one. So on the one hand, one side of you most of us understand that good scientific studies are necessary, and oftentimes we need to take real objective positions. Like, I would rather use penicillin rather than dirt to cure an infection, right? I need good empirical studies. On the other hand, I also, as a feminist and as a nationalist, know how scientific studies have been used to put down women, have been used to put down Filipinos, have been used through the ages to put down oppressed and marginal groups, like the IQs being traditionally skewed against African Americans. The IQ tests were traditionally skewed. So women and African Americans would really come out stupid in the original evidence. Okay, so my empiricism is fractured. In other words, and this is what a local women's spiritual leader told me, indigenous. Maraming katotohanan, kailangan mo pa rin hanapin yung katotohanan na may patotoo. There are many truths, but we must find the truth that is given testimony by the voices of our people. So I also would say that in the social sciences now, especially with the advent of postmodernism, there are no big E's. There is only a small P, and many small P's. And we need to look at all those and do the real hard work of a favorite Christian term, discernment, in order to put together the scientific data, the social data, what people are telling us, to come to adequate social policy or even our own moral decision making. And that's why, even if when I put on my scientific hat, don't think I'm an agnostic, because what science is telling us is that there's not likely a big man with a white beard really caring about whether I do whatever, you know, wanting to have a personal relationship with me in an infantile sort of way. I don't believe that, but on the other hand, I would temper that very hard empiricism with the fact that even in a group like this, or perhaps more in a group like this, you will get people who are saying they're humanists because we do hold to certain values that sometimes relates to things outside of ourselves, bigger than ourselves, relates to what the Christians would call, what the religious people would call the sacred or the transcendent. We don't want to deny that to ourselves. So I'll just stop there. Thank you very much.
Questions?
I'll just want to share something. I have a cousin, a very good friend of mine, who's a pastor. He says that Protestants and Baptists mostly support the RH bill. I just want to share this one. I don't know if this is a fact. He shared with me. He's a preacher in Bacolod. He says that one of the main motivating factors of the church to oppose the RH bill is corruption, because babies are big business for them. He shares of priests which tell their congregations to just, don't go to City Hall to process the papers of your new baby. Just go to me, pay me 300 pesos or 400 pesos, and I'll do all the work. And something like that. So one motivating factor is business. So babies are business for the Catholic Church.
I very often when people